Hey everyone, it's Nicholas Wilton at Art to Life, and I'm in the middle of working on this painting here. So I thought I'd stop and just share what was happening. One of the things that I'm starting to do more and more is, when the thing's just not working at all, and it's incoherent, I'm using pencil and crayon and oil pastel and just lines and just drawing and literally connecting things randomly. Like if you take a painting that's not working and scramble it, like just having drawing on top of it, and it connects it because there's lines visiting all these places. One of the things that I struggle with is getting the thing to feel like all the parts are part of a bigger thing. And you can do that with value and design, you can do that with color, but this is kind of cool, like using line to actually visually visit all these places. And it's something I've been kind of doing in the early stages of my painting, kind of over and over again. And also, when you're doing this, your marks and your movements are really, really big, because you're covering huge areas. I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort to cover, half of this picture with blue, but you can get a same feeling of scale with line by driving all the way across it and all the way down. Like those marks, you can feel it. When you look at the picture, it brings in a sense that you have visited, like there's a history, which is in contrast to the smaller kind of like littler areas and little shapes and little color things that are being revealed, which I do a lot. So this is a really nice complement to those smaller kind of chunks. That's kind of cool, I think. And what I also realized is that it's really easy to overdo this. In fact, I like doing that. Like I just do way more. It's really fun and I can go overboard with it. But then I can come back in as I've done here, and it's all kind of running, so it's not really looking that good, but I can cover up parts of these lines and other things that were, the line puts everything on one plane. It puts it behind it. If that line's going everywhere, then all the shapes are behind it, and it organizes your picture. It's like, well, there's the line, and then there's all this stuff that obviously is behind that line. So, and then when you're coming in and you're breaking it, you get this really great interruption of the line, but that background is now coming forward of the line, but we still have the feeling of that scale and that reckless abandonment in the work, even though it doesn't feel reckless now because we've gotten rid of a lot of the lines. But these lines, that has a direction and a purpose, that line. Like it's different if you just make a mark like this, a smaller, like you're thinking smaller, but when it's part of a bigger arc, even just seeing a piece of it, it has this bigness to it. And I think that's a really interesting thing to remember. This is kind of what I'm realizing, that to have these residual lines in it, and they can just be on different layers and you can build it up, and I'm still working on this, but I think it's a powerful thing to, like, not to fake it, but actually to draw at scale, at a different scale, it's a completely different mode of working that is recorded on the panel. Then you come back to your traditional way of working and covering it up, or however you want to work with it. And even remnants of it will give you that other dimension, that piece of that scaling, without painting the half of this thing blue or red. Like it can be really delicate, but you have a sense of scale at the same time. You're not using shape to do it. So this is kind of an interesting thing for me, and I just thought I would kind of share that, because this is, from a distance, I like what's happening here. I like the broken up little parts, and how, like you would never, I would never come up with that kind of line, but it happens because I'm covering and there's just remnants are being shown. Just like when you cover up a foreground or a background, you get marks that you wouldn't normally make. So it's just all about bringing these different things in, these different ways, these different experiences, these different feelings of scale, of direction, of large, purposeful mark making with more conservative, quiet mark making, and mixing those all together. Anyway, I hope that makes some sense for you. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. And line for me is just something that I'm really excited about, and I'm going to be sort of using that, I think, more and more. So I'd love to hear how this shows up in your work. I hope this Sunday's going great for you. And if you're new here and you want to click on the link below, you can get my free color PDF. All the tips on like color and stuff. Some of the ways that I work. I use color and teach it. So there's some really good stuff in there. Anyway, thanks a lot. Okay,